open up
Yeah.
for Chief Justice John Roberts.
I
So
thought that was kind of good. That was
I'm okay with J-Lo opening up for anything.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with J-Lo as an entertainer anytime she wants to show up.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey guys, I'm just hanging out in the background here from work today.
Hey,
Who's
Anthony.
that?
How's everybody today?
Good, good.
Everybody's good,
Who's
Anthony. How are
speaking?
you, man?
Doing good,
Oh,
thanks.
Anthony.
Yes.
I'm just setting up the other platforms, you guys. Just give me a second.
I'm going to step away and get something to drink real quick.
There you guys are with your handsome selves.
So Victor, I'm just curious, what was the reason for changing the hour? Was it because of the inauguration or what?
Yeah. I'm committed to the inauguration. No,
Well,
of course not. I'm kidding. It was mostly because
it made sense. It made sense to me, It made sense.
Yeah, it does. We were doing 2 hours before. 2 hours is a little bit long to be going. It really is.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
So, I have a bunch of new things going on right now, and I need to get a little bit of my day back, as much of it as I can anyway.
Will it still be for 2 hours, or are you planning to change
No,
it?
we're just gonna go for 1 hour.
Got it. Okay. Well, that means we have to work more efficiently, right?
That's what I'm saying. You guys, that means you have to put it in now.
Okay. So less chatter and more practice.
I need more production out of you guys.
Okay.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good.
Hey, you got an update for us on that other deal you were working on?
Well, I skipped trace and no luck. I even looked up the daughter, no luck with the number, and the brother that's living, no luck. But what I did do early in the morning, I think Saturday morning, I went to the Dollar Tree and got one of the little mail-in envelopes, and I went to the house where they live at, and I just put in the envelope, I'm the solution to your problem over at the address that the house is vacant, and put my number. So they have my number. So that's all I can do, and I'm off to the next.
Their address is local there also?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's cool.
So that's about all I can do.
Well, that or just park outside and wait for them to show up.
Yeah.
Tell them I'm really the solution to your problem. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, just want to say thank you for showing up again. It's always look forward to these Wednesdays, because we always have such really good conversations, and love the role playing and stuff, and you guys always bring some really good value to the conversation and to all of the other investors we have on the line. So it's great to see you guys. Already said hello to Jason, Carl, welcome Larry, Philip Montoya, what's up my friend? Jaime Cuevas, good to see you. Jimmy Jean is in the house. Lou Quinol, how are you, my friend? Steve Mabus, Waylon Chang is here. Yang is also here. I'm not familiar with Yi Ming. This is a new person. Hey, Lou.
Yes, I just joined the program recently.
All right. So let me get just real quick, you guys. I'm gonna just share my screen. I know that most of the people on the call already are familiar with this, but just to give you guys a sense of what it is that we're really trying to do on these calls. And I know oftentimes we get involved in conversations about deals and stuff, which we're not going to stop doing that, because I think it's really valuable that we share each other's experiences and maybe help each other get through some of the challenges that we might have, especially getting to the point at which we can actually create something. So I guess my point that I want to make really is that when you get on the phones with these people, and ultimately this is where you want to get to with everybody, is you want to have a phone conversation. Now, doesn't mean that you can't do that other ways. There are people who are very efficient by just getting onto Facebook Messenger or even a text messaging platform, and they will go back and forth like that. My guess is that most of us, especially that are a little bit longer in the tooth, that's not really what we're into. Like me, I'm not text guy. I don't want to sit there and text with you back and forth. I would rather have a conversation with you so I can actually find out what your motivations are, see if there's something in there for that I can create that will be of value for both me and you. That's always the goal. I feel like I can do that best when having a conversation person to person, so I can kind of understand the nuance, really get them to tell me, because I've literally lost or fractured relationships with text messages, because understand that the text is perceived how you feel or how the receiver feels. It's always a translation, right? It's never how the person sent it.
No doubt.
Give me 1 second. I can let somebody in real quick. It's never how you sent it. So, you know, I'm always just concerned about it being, you know, lost in translation. So I want to get on the phone as quickly as possible. I want to find out what the motivators are. We're looking for two things. We're looking for motivation somewhere between 7 and 10, 7 being the least desirable, obviously, but at least at 7, you're in a conversation that maybe you can move them up to a 9 or a 10. Because a 9 or a 10 is really where closing happens, where commitments take place, and where follow-up can occur that would actually result in completing a transaction, right? The other thing that we're looking to do, and this is real important, because I've been noticing a lot of conversations that are going on in some of the trainings and stuff, and people are basically, you know, trying to fit these square pegs into these round holes with some of these deals and stuff, right? Always come from the point of view that I am trying to create a sellable asset, that being that agreement, right? You want to imagine if you were buying that agreement yourself. If you know, stay with me for a moment here. Imagine you were buying that agreement for yourself. What would you want that agreement to look like? That's really what you're trying to create on a conversation. If you can't mold something into a sellable asset, it's really not a deal, right? If you can't turn around and make that something that somebody that you know you can take to somebody out in the marketplace and say, look what I have for you. If you can't do that, it's going to be very difficult for you to, you know, close deals. And what happens a lot of times is that we end up wishing on a prayer. You know, trying to create these deals that, you know, they're not really deals. You know, we're trying to fit some, and then understand that there's two sides to it, right? First, you have to create it, and then more importantly, now you have to go and sell it. And if you didn't create anything worth selling on the front end, you're just open for frustration or that feeling that you're actually in activity. And for those of you who have stayed as long as you have, and I know we got some old schools in the house, you know, we've seen people come and go all the time. And part of why they leave is because they don't create things that are actually sellable. So now, they have a problem either getting rid of the property or creating something that actually makes sense. Anyway, so what we do with
can I ask a question?
when we get somebody on the phone, we're basically trying to do one thing, and we want to move them into an 8, 9, or 10 on the motivation scale. And we do that by taking them through a process called agenda, qualification, and close, right? We operate on 3 rules. We always set the agenda. The reason why we set the agenda is because while it sounds like we're giving them power and authority, what it really does is allow us to cut through a bunch of stuff. Where you're basically letting them know this is how this is going to go. But at the same time, you're telling them, look, if you have any questions or anything, and if you don't like what I'm saying, feel free to fire me. So now they feel a certain sense of empowerment. You're not just shoving something down their throat. Especially when you speak to some of the older homeowners, they appreciate that, right? Those of us who are, over 40, we know we don't like to be talked down to. We don't like no young whippersnapper calling us on the phone thinking that they're smarter than us or thinking that they're slicker than us, right? So you have to kind of overcome that, especially with the seniors, right? And they own a lot of property these days, a lot. As a side note, just so you guys know, the senior population will be, the numbers are 20,000 seniors reaching retirement age every month for the next 20 years. That's how large that population is. That's a lot of opportunity.
So, Victor, does that mean to reach out to senior citizens?
I'm sorry?
So does that mean to reach out to the seniors that's in that age
Heck
bracket?
yeah, that's a great market right now. Seniors are a great market because for the most part, they either want to liquidate so that they can have the resources in order to fund their retirement, or they want to downsize, or both. Because seniors, I have actually been looking at a target market, and I'll put it out there. You guys, stay away from it though. I don't want anybody else on this particular list.
Right.
It's a niche list called Seniors with Stairs. Right? If you find seniors with more than one level on a property, there tends to be a little bit of motivation there. Wonder why.
You're right. You're right. You're truly right.
Stairs after a certain age, period.
Yep.
And it's actually a pretty decent list. It's a cool little niche. You obviously don't approach it like hardcore or anything like that. But, you introduce yourself into their environment and let them know that, look, if you're looking for something else, I can probably help you. So it's not a bad list, but we want to get those people to a point at which they feel comfortable. They feel like, they're in control of the conversation to a degree. They can fire us if they want to. We're going to set a roadmap. Obviously, we're going to get their permission to ask questions, give them permission to ask us questions, and more importantly, give them permission to fire us, right? Like, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Definitely want you to ask me a few. And if at any point you feel like this is not something that speaks to you, feel free to fire me. Is that fair? They're going to say yes. How is it not fair, right? And now they kind of feel empowered. So now it lets down their guards. They're not so much on the defensive. That's the psychological, portion of that particular part of the conversation, the agenda. And then the qualifying questions. Why are you selling? There is so much richness in that question because that is going to determine what their level of motivation is going to be like. Right? Why are you selling? Well, I have to get out of here. I've had a job transfer. I need to be gone in 30 days. Okay, great. My wife passed away in this, I don't want to go morbid, but something bad happened in this house and I'm just done with it. I need to keep I need to get out of here, whatever. How soon do you need to do it? Okay, if a person says, oh, you know, I'm in no hurry, I'm just waiting for my good price, immediately you know that this person is going to be below 5 on your motivation scale, and they're going to be an uphill climb from there. I wouldn't necessarily end the conversation right away, but I'm immediately looking for something I can anchor to. If I don't have anything I can anchor to and they got all the time in the world, you can pretty much count on that you don't have a deal. Unless you get to the money and they say something like, you know, I just want what I owe on it and I'm fine. I'm good with money or whatever. Now they're back on the sliding scale, moving up towards the 10. So they're in combination. One doesn't necessarily eliminate them from the other one. Then their commitment. How committed are you to getting this done now? The key being getting it done now. Because we're in here to make money every single day. We're not in here to just have conversations. So we need to get a level of commitment, and that will also determine, is this person a hot lead, a warm lead, or a follow-up lead, or a trash lead? It's going to be one or the other, right? And then obviously when you close, it's always a good idea to recap so that you bring everything back to center for them. They don't have to remember what you said at the beginning. You're going to tell them again. Okay, so the way I understand it, what I need to do is give you the price that you're asking for, and we agreed that the price is $165. Is that correct, Mr. Seller? Okay, great. And you want a down payment of $5,000, and you're good with $900 a month in guaranteed income from this property. Is that correct? Yes. Does that satisfy everything that you were looking for, or is there something else that I may have missed? Okay, so now they're kind of, letting you know, okay, no, this, no, this, no, this, no, this. Now they're involved. And I have found that it's really important in the closing that they get involved. Like, get them to close themselves in some way, right? Like, get them to repeat what needs to be said to you. Because now they've made a commitment, and sometimes integrity actually works in your favor. And now they've said, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I said. Now, now that I've confirmed all this, is there anything you want me to change? No, great, I'm gonna get this over to you right away. And what I'd like to do is have you take a look at it. Are you the only decision maker? Or that would have probably been done somewhere earlier, but always confirm who the decision makers are in the process. Make sure that they're all available and able to see the transaction, to sign off on it, literally or figuratively. And then at this point is where you want to set your follow-up time if in fact you're not doing it immediately right there on the phone. Now the follow-up becomes really, really important in this section right here, because as many of you have probably experienced, they will sound like they're 100% in, and then all of a sudden, crickets, they ghost you. No call, no show, no follow-up, no nothing. You can't get anything from these people.
Vanish.
Right? That happens a lot. So if that is something that's going on, that's probably because you're not tightening up this section right here. One, you haven't built relationship, and we'll talk about that as we do some role play. But more importantly, you have to make sure that they are committed, and that they see you as somebody who they need to honor in some way. Otherwise, you're going to just get ghosted. Is that guarantee that you're never going to get ghosted? No, people are people. But it's your job as a salesperson to do everything within your power to make sure that that conversation is had and understood when it comes to the closing part. Okay, so that's it. That's what we do. That's what the role play sections are all about. That's hopefully what moves you to be able to get some more deals under your belt, have some richer conversations, and develop that skill set to where you can hear what people are actually saying. Because you know, if you do this enough, and I know like Jimmy, he can attest to this. You do this long enough, they're saying one thing, like their words are one, but you know exactly what you're hearing. Right? Yeah. Your bullshit meter goes off. The more you do this, the more it develops, right? And you're like, yeah, okay. You know, you play the role, but you already know what's happening. And that's the whole point of doing the role play, especially, but just as importantly, to get on the phone on a regular and continuous basis to work on your game. And some of the way you can take pressure off yourself is just look at it like I'm just working on my game. I'm just shooting free throws. I'm just taking jumpers. Obviously, you guys can tell I'm a basketball guy. But,
I see that.
but that's all you're doing, man. You just working on your game. You just and every conversation is that. And so after each conversation, you kind of do an analysis. What could I have done better? What could I have done different? Because every single time you're going to say, darn it, I should have said this. I should have. I'm telling you, it almost doesn't matter how long you do this. I think even Claude at some point, or Justin, they get off the phone and they're like, man, I could have done this, or I should have said this. Right? So, so cool, guys. That's my little setup for our role play. Does anybody have a situation or anything right now that they're kind of challenged by? Philip Montoya, what's up, my friend?
Not much, man. Just still learning. I wanted to ask you about, because I've been getting on PropStream a lot, checking out properties, and I'm having trouble like having them justify the price. PropStream says one, even with all the comps, and they're asking like $20,000 more than I could get, you know, like comps for. And I'm like, well, how do I make him? How do I access their price? Why are they asking so much? Because now it's a seller's market, right? So yeah. usually they go.
Yeah. So Philip, let me ask you. I'm looking at my numbers here, and I seem to be a little bit off. Did you pay for an appraisal on the property?
No, I haven't.
No?
We just recently did a remodel.
Okay.
We remodeled the kitchen, and that cost us, you know, $12,000. So we're kind of like wanting to get our money back usually.
Okay, so you basically looked at what houses were selling for and then stacked your $12,000 on top of that, so you can get that $12,000 back. Was that your thinking process?
Well, yeah, we have some neighbors that just redid their house, and the kitchen, the bathrooms, and they sold it for, you know, probably about $30,000 more than the house. So I was thinking, you know, why can't I do that?
Okay. Now, if you don't mind, what is the address of that property? Let me take a quick look right now and see if maybe I can come up with something to compare it to. Because right now, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit off in my numbers. The way that we do this is that we look at similar properties as yours that are of the same year, the same quality, the same rooms, you know, in terms of bathrooms and bedrooms, that sort of thing. And we try to look at things that are in your community, because it obviously doesn't make sense for me to compare something that's, you know, across the freeway or across, you know, the lake or something else, right? So we're trying to get something that's as close to what you have as we can. So what is that person's address?
1213 Main Street.
Okay, good. Give me just 1 second. Let me look up 1213 Main Street. Oh, okay, yeah, that is a nice house. Now I'm looking at some history on this house right here, and I'm thinking you might be sort of like, well, if I put it on here, you know, somebody will buy. We have time. Is that what you're thinking? Like, you know, you're not really in a hurry for this?
Well, no, we need to sell it, but you know, we got some advice that you should remodel your bathrooms and your kitchen, and we didn't really have enough to do all the bathrooms, so we figured we remodeled the kitchen to get the price up and for it to be sellable. But
all right. So would you agree that you would want to get at least what someone else got for an equivalent property?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it kind of works in real estate, right? I mean, yeah, you always hear about the guy who, ended up making way more than they wanted to. But when it comes to pricing, we're looking at something that's exactly like the one that we're looking to purchase, right? If you were in my shoes, would you not approach it that way yourself?
Yeah, I guess, I'm asking $250 for it. I thought that was a good price.
Yeah.
It's a good looking house, good neighborhood. It's not wrecked or trashed or anything. So, yeah, and I figured I could get that much for it.
I get it. So I'm an investor, and I make my living doing this. This is how I feed my children. I have to at least, if I can't get the price that I'm looking for on a property, I'm usually looking for terms. How are we sitting as far as terms? What? Let me ask you this question. What kind of money do you need right now up front to solve your problem or move you to your next step? Do you need all of it right now?
Not necessarily, but I do need some money to put down on another house. We're trying to downsize. We're a little older, so this is a 4-bedroom. Probably just need a 3-bedroom or two bedroom. But I'm thinking I need about at least 25,000.
You need about 25,000. Okay, so if I could get you to $25,000 right up front, so you can solve your problem right there. Can we talk about how to resolve the rest of the financing? Is that something we can talk about, or maybe not?
Yeah, I'd like a little bit more information. I'm kind of interested. I mean, if you can get me that 25,000, sure.
Okay, good. So there's a couple of ways that we can actually do this. You can actually act as the bank and make yourself a little bit of profit, even a little bit of, what we would term interest on the financing by, holding the financing yourself. And I'm normally looking for about 36 months. Does that sound like something you could consider?
Years? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what would happen is I would give you the money that you need on the front end to accomplish what you need to, and you'll actually act as the bank, where you'll be receiving regular monthly payments on a portion of the financing. You'll still be required to make your payments and everything like that, or ideally we'll do it through an escrow where the money goes in and all you do is you just get the amount after all the payments are made and everything is done legally. Is that something that sounds appealing?
Yeah, because I'm almost done paying this house off, so I have a lot of equity in it. So what are we talking about? Do I get interest and stuff like that on my money, or how does that work?
Well, I don't usually like to do interest, and here's the reason why. But I can get you some interest, but it's not going to be termed interest. Why? Because if I say interest, now we go into a whole nother arena, right? We're now dealing with all sorts of financial things that may or may not be to your advantage. So what I would look at is how much can we do in a monthly payment that is advantageous for you. So right now, your mortgage payments, everything is $600. If I could do something and put $900 in your pocket on a monthly basis, that would cover that, plus give you an additional $300 a month, plus give you an ultimate payoff in 36 months or less, that would allow you to not only already be in position, but you get this nice cash windfall.
Yeah, $900. Yeah, do you think we can maybe go a little bit higher, maybe something like $1,200? It's a good neighborhood. I'm pretty sure you can get that for this house easy. Okay, so you've done some research. That's awesome. You're obviously on top of your game. I appreciate that. I love talking to people who are professional thinkers, right?
So I appreciate that. So
yeah, I just have a neighbor across the street that he's renting his place. It's kind of a similar house, and he's getting like $1,200 a month for it, and it's not really like new or anything like that. So.
Oh, okay, okay. So is that the going rate in your neighborhood?
Well, I only talked to him, so I'm gonna say yeah. I really don't know.
Okay, so I'll do a little bit of research. But can we do $1,000 a month? Is that something we can do?
$1,000. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so if I could, I'll get all this on paper for us. We're going to agree to $1,000 a month. We're gonna $25,000 up front to allow you to do what you need to do. $1,000 a month for 3 years, and at the end, at sometimes in that 3 years, we're going to go ahead and pay you off completely. In the meantime, we'll put all this into an escrow that pays everything for you and just sends you the difference every month, so you don't have any management issues. I'm going to get all that down on paper right now. I'll get it over to you within the next hour. Now, is there anybody else that's going to be involved in this, Philip? Any other decision makers? Or your wife, your attorney, anybody else?
Just my wife. She's on the title of the house also.
Got it.
So yeah, but she's on game.
Okay.
She knows what I'm doing. She knows that I know what I'm doing. So we're good.
Okay, so you and your wife could be able to discuss what we've discussed here in the next, 2 or 3 hours, and you and I could follow up. It's 10:30 right now. Can we follow up around 2:30? Is 2:30 good for you? Or
yeah, after lunch. Yeah, that'd work.
Okay, perfect. I'll get this over to you in the next 30 minutes to an hour, and then I will follow up with you at 2:30. And I'm guessing I don't even have to worry about this because you're obviously a stand-up guy, a person of your word. But look, Philip, what I would like to ask is if anything does come up, you have any questions, any concerns, you're changing your mind or whatever, would you be courteous enough to just let me know and not leave me out there on a limb? Would you do that for me?
Oh yeah, definitely. Of course. No, I wouldn't do anything like that.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I could tell just from talking to you though that you were a high character guy. All right, let me put all this together. I'll get it over to you right away, Philip. I look forward to consummating this to both of our benefits. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah. Okay, so now that we're off the role play, and okay, the house is 250. You look up. Are you caring about price now within a range of what they're saying? Because that's kind of how I'm having difficulty writing it down on paper.
Yeah, and I could have probably done a little bit. I would have had to do a little bit more work in that, and I apologize. I probably left some stuff out. So really what we want to do, what the thing is, and we can go back into the role play a little bit, kind of drop the ball there, but we can go back into the pricing thing, right? Because right now they're $20,000 above, but they're flexible, and now we know what their motivation is, right? We know that they're trying to get this, right? So I may go back in. Let's go back in real quick, okay?
Okay.
So I'm looking at the comparables, Philip, and I just don't see anything at that price. Now, obviously, you have the option to simply just, put it on the market and wait and see, because it's worth whatever someone's willing to pay, right?
Right.
But as an investor, obviously, I have to work my numbers in a particular way. Now, I can give you full fair market value based on what I can see in the marketplace. And right now, I'm just not seeing it. Is there something that I don't know? Maybe something that you considered that I haven't at this point?
No, just kitchen remodel, and looking at the place. Everything is pretty good. The roof's good. Doesn't really need any repairs. Maybe some paint.
I'm looking at this property. It's right around the corner from you, and it's sold for 165. And now, if you look at these pictures here, let me give you this address. Are you at your computer right now?
Yes.
Okay, if you can pull this address up and take a look at this, can you see how this property is completely remodeled. It's basically somebody went in, gutted, and made it like this perfect property. And it's only been a couple of months, and this is what it's sold for. Now, do you really think that your property, and you know, this is a straight up question, is worth $20,000 more than this property here?
Well, I really don't know what to say as far as, you know, probably not.
Okay, so what I did right there off the role play. So what we have to do is we have to try to get them back to reality. The easiest way to get them to reality is graphically, right? Look at this property and tell me that your property is worth at least that. Really? Yeah, probably not.
Okay. Now, when would you take the deal? Because you're looking at maybe 36 months, right? So if you add all that up and then you can get that price at that 36 months, would you take the deal? Let's say if it's maybe $10,000 over market value at this time, but you can
I tend to stay away from anything that's over the market value, because you know it sounds warm and fuzzy.
Right.
It sounds warm and fuzzy, but now you're looking for a specialty buyer now.
Right.
Right? You're looking for that special person that's going to be willing to pay extra in that environment.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe you get it, but here's the bottom line. The main thing is, where's your mindset?
Right.
Understand that, yeah, I'll take it. Yes, I'll market it. Yes, I'll put all of my effort, you know, into my system to get it out there into the marketplace. But your expectations have to be reasonable.
Right. Yeah. Because cash, we're trying to get low so we can pay cash so we can sell it to, you know, a flipper or whatever. But terms is, if you can get long terms, could you adjust it? I guess. You know, if they, because I mean, the saying is, if I don't beat you up on price, could you give me my terms?
Right.
So, you know, you can go for a longer term.
What are you trying to accomplish in terms?
Just since, you know, you're trying to figure out, let's say 3 to 5%, because of the economy now that it's a seller's market. So you're seeing that houses are rising at 3%, maybe, you know, that's like the middle, 3 to 5% for each year. So if you can calculate that, but, you know, I understand that you can't, you know, tell the future, you know, you don't know how what the economy is going to do.
We're not in the speculation game. Right. We don't buy on spec.
Right.
Right. Okay. So the purpose of the question is really, and this is something you want to try to keep in mind when you're talking to a seller. Is this something I can turn around and create a marketable commodity out of? So that contract, that agreement that you are going to put together has to be marketable.
Right.
That's really the bottom line, right? Like if it's overpriced, how marketable is the agreement?
Right.
Who's going to take it from you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix my brain or my thought process to get to that point. You know what I mean? As far as, you know, I'm going to be marketing this. How can I market this with, you know, not beating him up on his price, but getting my terms? You know, maybe I'm getting confused or.
Okay, so maybe let me see if I can put you in a position. You have $1 million, Philip.
Okay.
You buy discounted real estate on either price or terms.
Okay.
In your mind, figure out exactly what it is that you would buy. If you were buying it for yourself, what would it need to look like?
For $1 million?
No, you have $1 million. In other words, you're in position to
okay.
be a buyer.
I have $1 million, but the house.
Yeah, you have $1 million, but you're buying real estate. You have $1 million that you could spend. But you got that $1 million because you were wise in your use of your money, right? In your purchasing, what it is that you went out there for, right? So you always have $1 million. I want you to just think that, like, I have $1 million. What am I gonna? How am I gonna buy this deal? What do I need this deal to look like?
Okay.
And put your deals together accordingly.
Okay.
If you wouldn't buy it, probably no one else will either.
Okay.
Right. So in your mind, you're always a buyer. You're always the buyer. But okay, if I'm the buyer, how does this make sense?
Okay.
Because most of your properties that you're doing, especially at this stage of the game, right, is for you to turn around and to move to someone else, either a tenant buyer or an investor buyer, right?
Right.
So if you're going to do that, the only concern that you really need to have is the structure of the deal.
Right. And that's what I guess I'm trying to work on now is structuring the deal.
Yeah, that's up to you. I left the heat turned up because I figured you guys would be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So think about the structure in terms of. I hear some background. I don't know if it's mine.
Just like any other online day.
Okay.
So we had his class.
I think it's Anthony.
All right. Yeah, I'm in my real estate meeting. I'm obviously picking up dinner. What do you think you're in the mood for?
Hey, Anthony,
prime rib.
You, okay?
Prime rib. That's what I'd like.
That's not him. Let's try this one.
Yeah. What a steak.
Somebody is getting.
Hey, Victor. Hey,
Jumbo.
So big. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Victor, I was just hearing you all on this, and I was wondering, before I even call the individual, if I'm using PropStream, I would do, and I'm looking at that house, you know how you can go in there and look at all the houses around that house you're considering and calling?
Yeah.
You got to make that before you call the person so that you already have that in your mind and in your pocket if he's in the range or he's out of the range, if he's asking too much, so that if I'm going to structure and making an offer, I normally try to do a mock of what I would be willing to do before I call them, so that when I get all the other information or the particulars of what his scenario is, then I'll be in a better position to know what am I going to do. I'll explain to him what I would do if I was going to do a cash offer. Then I would explain to him moving him in another direction, depending on what he tells me, if we have a lease option. But I wouldn't try to spend maybe a whole lot of time in determining what his temperature is, because if it's not high, you're going to spend a lot of time. And maybe if he's not motivated, do you see what I'm saying? And
that's absolutely correct. And
you would probably know that. You would probably know that up front in the first 3 minutes is what our objective is. So I personally wouldn't spend a whole lot of time in trying to make him one if he's not there. And but if the numbers are right, if he's $20,000-$30,000 below what a lot of the other houses are in that area, then I would certainly consider then spending a little bit more time in seeing what the variance might be, to talk about a deal.
Yeah, what I'm coming to is Justin always says a deal, you create a deal. You're the creator of the deal. Right. So of course the numbers have to make, and I guess that's where I'm at. I'm thinking about how to create this deal and how would it work. And that's where I'm at right now. So I'm trying to figure things out. There's so many ways to create a deal. Right. And right now I'm concentrating on lease options and cash deal.
Yeah. So, and that's why I was having the conversation. Thank you so much, Jose. I appreciate the input. Now, me personally, I don't do a bunch of research before I get somebody on the phone. Because I find that that's just an excuse not to get on the phone. Okay. I find that is yes, Jaime. Yeah, I don't do a lot of research, because for me, it becomes more and more research. Next thing I know, that all the time that I was supposed to be on the phone has gone. Yeah. So I will do some research on the phone, or I will do some research after the fact. But I look at phone time as phone time.
Yeah.
It's not research time. Research time is later. Otherwise, it becomes convoluted for me.
I see.
So that's my thing. I don't do a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna do a bunch of stuff, because what if I call you and you tell me, oh no, it's already sold. Now I've spent 15 minutes, 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes.
5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's wasted now. I could have been on 2 other calls and gotten 2 other no's or whatever, right? And been done. So that's my thinking in terms of that. And as far as you go, Philip, when it comes to the structure, again, you know, just in your mind, imagine you're the buyer all the time. Like, I'm the buyer all the time. What would I buy?
What would I buy, and does it make sense?
And it'll help you in your thinking and the structuring, because right now you have like the structuring, like this, you know, thing that you have to learn outside of something, and it's not part of the whole, you know, it's all the same.
Okay.
It's all the same. Would you buy it?
Right.
If you would buy it, then you could probably sell it.
I see.
All right. Yeah, it's pretty rigid right now. I'm just trying to smooth it out, you know?
Yeah. But you're a millionaire. I want you to keep that in mind. You're already a millionaire. You're looking to buy property. You don't have pressure on you to buy anything that is not exactly like you want it. Right? Like, create that in your mind. I'm already a millionaire. I'm sitting on $1 million. Whether you are or not is besides the point. But I'm sitting on $1 million already. I don't need, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to buy marginal stuff. I'm not going to pay for marginal deals, period. Right. I'm looking for deals, and you operate as if you are looking for deals and you're able to buy.
You're not begging. You're not begging.
You're not.
I got a question.
You're never a beggar. You're never trying to create, you know, gold out of crap. It's either there's a deal or there's no deal. There's no need to try to do it. I already have $1 million. I'm not begging out here.
Right.
Like a mindset.
All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Thank you, Victor. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Because that, you know, that way, you know that if you're a millionaire, you're already buying real estate. You know what you're going to buy. I guarantee you, with the knowledge that you already have under your belt, you already know that if what makes sense to buy, if it makes sense to buy to you, you can sell it.
Okay, cool.
Right, and that's really all we're always trying to do: create a sellable asset called an agreement.
Right.
That's all we're ever trying to do on this deal, right? Even if the agreement ends up you keeping it and it becomes a buy and hold or whatever, that agreement still has got to be designed such that it's sellable.
Cool. That'll work.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Victor.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Victor.
Hey, Jimmy.
With a scenario just like that, right? When you know you speak with the seller, he want way over price, and you're sitting here trying to see if you could be creative. Don't you normally just go negative and say, you know what? It sounds like you might as well just list the property with a realtor. You want X amount of dollars. I'm pretty sure the realtor will give you that amount.
Right.
And then his response after that, oh no, I don't want to list it.
Yeah.
And then you find out why, and then after that, and if it still sounds like it's not going to be a deal, you just cut them off. Like you just
waste. Basically, just find pain points. Finding the pain points.
Exactly.
You guys hear me?
Yeah. That's why Jimmy's the man. Brilliant observation, right? Because, you know, again, there's so many directions we can go in with this. His is probably the direction of choice in this situation. I went to, you know, where you're trying to have a conversation about it and you're trying to sort it out in your mind, because I know that you're an analytical thinker in that way. You kind of have to have things in place, right?
Yeah.
But really, you might be better served with Jimmy's technique, where you just basically take it, you know, maybe you should. Maybe you should. Again, if
why don't you put it on the market?
Yeah, if you're thinking if you're back to that millionaire purchasing property, right? This is a guy that's like trying to get you to do something that, like, you know, I don't necessarily want to do this. So, you know, now you become the super reluctant buyer. Like, you know, why haven't you? You should put it on the market.
And that's true, because like how Jason,
and see what you get, because this doesn't sound like something that you know, that would really work for me. You know, is that the absolute best price you can give me? Okay, well, good luck.
And that's true how Victor put it, because if you put yourself as you got to be in dollars, you're not going to buy that for no 375.
No.
Right.
No. If you were buying it for your portfolio, would you pay that?
No, move on.
That's
I
the
guess
point
not.
that
That
I'm-
makes sense. Yeah.
If that's the mindset that I'm
It's like a
trying
common
to
sense.
stress.
It's a common sense thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Justin.
You know, like would I buy it for me? Heck no.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're going to move on. Like,
No, you
having
would
Hey,
move on.
Justin.
Good. Or
Cool.
Victor.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Victor, can you hear me?
Yes, Aaron.
Yes, I had a question. I wanted to ask you on that role play you just did with I don't know his name.
Philip.
But anyway, yeah, Philip. The role play you did with Philip, you offered him $25,000 up front. How was you going to structure that deal for your buyer?
Yeah, I knew we were going to get into a structuring conversation. Aaron, I am going to put my information in here. You and I can talk about the structure. I do have something in mind, but I want to kind of stay on the role play part right here.
Okay.
Not to skirt it, but Jaime came in a little bit earlier and said that he had a scenario that he wanted to possibly have me call on. So I want to try to do that so we can maybe get a phone call in during this particular conversation, during this particular training, and then we can kind of go from there. But I'll be glad to look at the structuring with you.
Do you want me to send you the phone number?
Yes, please.
And then I said
you can put it private, or you can put it in the chat. Just send it private or whatever. Just send it to the host, Victor.
Yeah, he's waiting for the call. So
okay.
Bye.
All right, let's do a role play.
Knock it out, Victor.
Do this.
Let's do it.
He asked me, how soon do you want the house? I was like, if the price is fair, as soon as possible. So obviously we're gonna, you make it work.
So tell me a little bit about the guy. Any information?
Yeah, I called him yesterday, leave him a message. He just called me today. I didn't respond back, but I text him back, and he's like, give me a call. And that's all pretty much.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you haven't really had a conversation with him at all?
No, just
no. He just responded to a text.
Yeah.
And the text, what did the text say?
He texted me saying something like, how soon are you looking to buy? I was like, if the price is fair, as soon as possible.
Okay.
That was my reply. I will send you the phone
do you have
number.
A name?
What's up?
Do you have a name?
Yeah, his name is Jerry.
Do you have an address?
Yes, I will send it to you soon.
Okay.
And the address goes.
I see you, Aaron.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's right there.
Okay, cool. 785-224. I think if I had a number that had 3 6s in it, I would have to change the number just because. This is Kansas.
Yep, it is.
So you can probably expect some sort of Southern twang. Whenever I talk to those people, I find myself getting off the phone. All of a sudden, I have the Southern twang for the next 3 conversations. Give me 1 second. I'm going to just pull up the is it a Zillow listing? Do you know?
Yes, it is. It's in Zillow, and it's been sitting for 68 days or a little longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like a rental.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Let's call
Jerry.
Jerry. Hello, is this Jerry?
Yes.
Jerry, my name is Victor. I got your number. I'm not even sure where I got it from, but let me ask you: are you selling a property?
Yes, I have one that we were selling. Sure.
Oh, okay, great. Can you give me that property address real quick?
That should be, and bear with me.
Sure.
Are you moving this direction or what?
Well, possibly, but mostly what I do is I'm an investor, Jerry, and I buy properties all over the country, and I have buyers that I match up with properties all over the country, and I think I may have some buyers for you in this area. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and maybe ask you some questions, have you ask me some questions, and if it's something that looks like it might work, we can move forward. Otherwise, you can just fire me and we can part as friends.
Yeah, I just typically deal with people that are in this area or moving to this area, and I think it'd probably be better for both of us just to move on, sir.
Now, let me ask you, Jerry. Now that makes absolute sense. Now, the reason why you say that is what? Did you have a bad experience in terms of dealing with someone, remotely or something like that?
Well, I mean, it's just easier to do it face to face, sir. That it just if you can't walk through the property and kick the tires.
Oh no. I'll definitely walk through the property. It may not be me personally. But I have people there in the area that will walk through the property and give me some pictures and do everything that's necessary, verify the information that you and I shared today. That's definitely not the issue. So if you want to meet somebody and make sure that I'm real and all that, I could send you to my online presence or anything like that. But we will definitely have somebody human walking through the property and making sure that everything is what it is.
Sir, I have another call I have to take, and so I think don't worry about me. Okay.
I won't worry about you, Jerry. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. All right.
Not motivated enough.
Victor.
Well, yeah.
You did a great job, by the way.
Thanks.
True guts.
Yeah, too much guts.
but he asked you a question. Are you moving here, by the way? That's a great question. You must be asking me that for a reason. What is it, sir?
Well, his reason was that he likes to do business face to face. Something that I deal with oftentimes, especially in the flyover states. Like they have, especially older sellers. They have this thing about wanting you to be there face to face type of thing because they're always very skeptical and always very reluctant to do anything with anybody outside of their area who they can't put eyes on type of thing. There's a reason I believe that his property has been on the market for as long as he has. He's obviously sort of lives in a box.
Old school.
And he does not allow anything outside his box to affect him. Who knows? I don't know. It could be any number of reasons. My decision always at that point is, do I want to climb this hill?
Makes sense.
Right? Do I want to climb this hill? Is this something that's going to be enough of a positive for me, give me enough value in order for me to actually climb this hill? Now, I wasn't in position to know that for sure. Even when I pulled up the Zillow listing, it came up with a couple of little pictures, but it still looks like it's processing. Maybe I'm just at full bandwidth or whatever, but I wasn't able to see much else, so I had to wing it as far as that goes. But there's any number of reasons why people, conduct themselves the way they do when they get on the phone. We live in a time when there's all sorts of opinions, there's all sorts of things going on in the air about who you're going to deal with and whatnot. I don't always choose to climb that hill. Like, you know what? If you're not trying to sell your place, I'm not trying to buy it. it's simple.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Simple.
So
Makes
you
sense.
know that's where he went with it. You know, he only wants to deal. You know, for all I know, hell, he heard my voice and he wasn't trying to deal with me. Okay.
Right.
Later for you, homie.
Can I ask something?
You know what I'm saying? On to the next one.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be safe to say that in those types of leads, wouldn't you want to like rephrase like on how you should approach them? Like maybe not say that you're out of state and just kind of go ahead and let your boots on the ground. Kind of let them know that you do got people, or you do got a partner that would like to take a look at your property.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to say there. So one, I did actually say that. I let him know that we would have people on the ground and he would deal with somebody in person. I never, ever, 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 ever skirt the truth. I'm not coming there. And I'm not telling you that I'm coming there because now my integrity is, you know, sitting out there on a limb somewhere. Now I'm kind of, you know, and if you're okay with that, there's some people that are okay with that. You know, we can skirt it and, you know, we can reword it and the bottom line is it's a lie. I'm not going there. You're not going to see me, but I have some folks that will be dealing with this and you will be able to meet somebody in person, et cetera, et cetera. That's the truth. I don't have to remember that truth because it's going to be the truth 100% of the time. Right. So for me personally, and you guys can do whatever it is you want in there, but for me, I have to stay in integrity lane as far as certain things are concerned. I'm not going to go and say some things that are not true. I'm not moving there, and I'm not going to tell you that I'm moving there. If you have a problem with me moving there, this is probably not the only problem we're going to have. Right. So yeah, that's my thinking. Now you know you can approach it however you want. Like I said, we all have options in this game. But me, I have to walk down integrity lane and I walk right up the middle of the street. I don't lie. I don't skirt the truth. I don't, you know, fabricate stories. I don't do any of that. Only because I don't need it to come back and bite me, and I don't need my reputation sullied by someone because I just wasn't ever honest with them. Because I have a presence out there in the marketplace. I have, you know, videos, I have websites, I have people that I deal with, and who knows, I might have another deal right down the street from this guy. And now I'm a liar.
Right.
Not worth it.
Get him with honesty.
Yep. Not worth it for me, bro. Ever.
Honesty.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, you know, that's just me. You know, everybody, we all have our choices to make as far as this is concerned, but that's just me. I'm a horrible liar. Why? Because I never remember the shit. So he's gonna ask me later, and I'm not gonna remember. And now I'm gonna be looking like a damn fool.
But you sleep better. But you sleep better at night.
I do. I try not to lie, cheat, or steal, and that helps me. That helps me sleep. You know,
Victor. What I do, just to let you know, I've made a list of all the homes that I want to call. If I want to call 15 or 20 of them, I get them, but I get them in my vicinity so that if I have to drive, let's say an hour away, I'm not going to reveal that to the individual unless I absolutely have to. And I practice then on my techniques so that if I see a deal coming down, if that's what it's going to take for me to, you know, to close it, to go out there and meet them, or I'm going to pick up a check, or I'm going to pick up a contract, or get it something signed.
Yeah.
So I stay in my own vicinity or my backyard until I would feel more comfortable to be able to do digital.
Exactly. Yeah, virtual.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a decision that you made because of your comforts, your levels of integrity that you want to stay within and whatever, right? And Each one of us has that decision to make.
And I want to be able to offer that, but I want to have the control and the option of when I don't have to go out to something like that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you're a local market guy.
Right.
Which is awesome. I kind of go all over the place, and I operate the way I operate, and we all have our little business model, and that's what we do. Before we jump off, because we're a little bit over right now, but Jaime, I want to get back to you because it was your phone call, and see if you have some feedback. What were you thinking? What were your thoughts? Would you have done something different?
No, I've been calling that market, and no one has been approaching me that way. One person say, are you a scammer? Are you trying to steal my house? And I was like, no, I'm actually a real buyer, but it was too late by the time I say it.
Okay. So you like Jaime is describing, when you go to these small towns, these out areas like that, people are made up a certain way. They're not the most trusting, especially the seniors. They're not the most trusting. They watch a lot of ID television. And they are not really feeling all of that, strangers coming in and being, stuff being done. They know about all the scams that go on, or feel like they know about that stuff. So you're always going to be speaking into that conversation, and you have got to, hopefully they have enough of a motivation, and you can build enough of a bond with them that you can overcome it. But know that it's there. It exists. It is what it is, right? Yeah. On that point right there, also, Jaime, when you're marketing, and I think a lot of us are doing this, we're making a mistake in terms of we're marketing to some of these areas that you're going to have a really difficult time selling the property once you get it. So when you're doing your marketing, keep that in mind in terms of, I've actually started to look at where the buyers are first and look for those markets, because it makes your life a whole lot easier, because you can find a deal off the beaten path, in Kansas, that, you can find a property. You found it because there were no buyers. It's been on the books for 68 days because, one, there's not a lot of buyers in the area, and two, this guy may not be the most, pleasant person to deal with. I'm probably not the only person he ever dismissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you guys are looking at markets, maybe consider, and this is what I'm doing, maybe consider working from buyers out. Where the buyers at? Where's the activity at? Where are people flipping properties? Especially if there are flippers in the area, if you see, like, you go on PropStream and they'll tell you that there are flippers in the area, Flip Roslyn, that there are flippers in the area, then you could probably move your deal.
Okay.
You hear me? If you are out in these little areas where there's no activity, just think about it. There's no activity. There's no activity for a reason. And so now you're trying to find that one, couple that wants to be off the beaten path, and they kind of, they want to live in the country. They want to bring, so there's a certain criteria I'm starting to look at. One is, are there buyers in the area? First thing, right? My second thing, believe it or not, is, what do the schools look like? Families love great schools, and if you can open with that as a selling point, oh my God, now you got their attention. You start talking about their kids and educating their kids, you got their attention. Now this house has intrinsic value outside of just its monetary value, right?
Yeah, but Victor, in the Northeast, sometimes we have cities and communities that are basically like, forgive me, but like under armpits, but they're great rental places, i.e. New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey. I mean, the price of the housing is, very cheap, but the rentals are astronomical. I mean, something that whole heat, with 4 walls in Trenton, you can get like $1,300 for. You might pay $60,000 or $70,000 for the property.
That's and so that's a rental market, which I could not agree with you more, as opposed to a flip market or a sell market, right?
Correct.
So it all depends on what it is that you're going after, because I'm right now in a market that is very much like you're describing in Memphis.
Right. Okay. Right.
You know about Memphis, right? Memphis is the same way. Like you can buy a house for $50,000 in Memphis and get $1,300 a month rent.
Exactly. That's what you have in Trenton. That's what you have in Camden. Camden maybe $900, but you can pay maybe $40,000 for the property. You know what I mean?
That is the market you want to be in, where the relationship to price and rents are always in your favor.
Right.
You can't go wrong, because you can always rent it if you can't sell it. But it's easy to sell because all you have to do is say what Vernon said.
Talk about the rent.
Right.
And there's a lot of
if Philip is sitting on his $1 million and Vernon comes to him and say, look, I got a property for $45,000 that pulls in $1,300. You want to take a look at it? Hell yeah. So it's a marketable agreement that you can create, and it's easy because you've chosen your market, effectively.
I got one question for you.
Certainly, Vernon.
How do you deal with somebody that you have them under contract and they want to bulk at the price that they agreed to? Like, I have them under contract, I have the contract notarized and everything, but they want more money now.
Okay, so Vernon, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, you're looking at this market, and the market is kind of shifting on you, and now you feel, now you do understand that we had an agreement, we already have everything down on paper, you're already kind of committed, but now you're kind of, holding me over the barrel, Vernon. Let me ask you, I definitely don't want this to go to legal, so I'm dropping the legal thing. I definitely don't want this to go to legal, because I don't think either one of us are going to win on that. Like, it's not a good thing.
Concrete.
Huh?
I just said it's kind of concrete now.
Yeah. We're already in here. There's a couple of things that you could try to do, but at this point now, I'm owed some money, right? So tell me, how can we cure this, Vernon? What is a number that you feel, considering all that's taken place, considering that we obviously want to stay out the court system and all that. Tell me something else that we can do, because obviously I can't meet you, right where you want to go. Is there someplace else that maybe we can resolve this?
I just want to get out of the contract. I want more money.
I get that, but you do understand that you already made an agreement, and it's already in writing, and it's legal, and I don't want this to become a tug of war. I'm thinking there might be a number. You want to get out of this because you want more money, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And so what would you like to see this what would you like to see happen? What I get you out of this, and now you do what?
I want you to go about your way, and I'll just get more money, or you can pay me more money.
Okay. You say get out of my way. So is this personal, Vernon? Did I do something that maybe rubbed you the wrong way? Is that where we're at with this?
No.
Okay.
I
was just checking. I just want to keep the integrity in place.
Well, I just see that the market, I see like there's houses just like mine selling for a higher price than we agreed to.
Okay. How much higher?
$5,000, $7,000, sometimes $8,000 more. Okay.
So, Vernon, I hate to go here with you, but understand that I'm already in an agreement. I'm a business person. My next step, obviously, is to look for enforcement of my agreement, right? That enforcement is going to probably cost at least that much for you. Is that something we really want to do, or can we resolve this some other way? Can I give you, can I just give you a, a couple $1,000s on the back end and we move forward with this and, you get closer to what it is you're looking for? Is that something we can talk about or maybe not?
Probably so.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cause I can sweeten the pot up a little bit for you. It's obviously not going to be to that number, but I don't want to lose the deal and I don't want to go to court. Do you?
No.
Neither one of us wants to. So let's figure this out. I can put in there for an additional, $2,000, get us closer to where we're going and let's move forward. We good with that?
Yes.
All right, cool. Thanks, Brandon.
Hold him to his commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a commitment, and hopefully you have some leverage in terms of timeline. But if he's made some commitments and you've made some commitments and it's in process and everything, legally you have all the cards.
Yeah. I was even thinking about being that I have it notarized to get it recorded down at the
I would do that as soon as somebody balks on something and they start wanting to, change the terms, go higher price, I immediately record.
Hey, Victor, could you have asked for, hey, listen, I understand you can't, you don't want to go then through with the agreement since we have a consummated agreement. I'd be glad to release it, but it'll cost you about $2,500 for the time that I've invested. If you want to go that route, could you give him a way out by just paying you to cancel the contract?
That wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if that's an option, but I'm guessing Vernon is making more than $2,500 on the deal.
I see.
I'm guessing Vernon is not in the $2,500 deal. If he is in the $2,500 deal, then yeah, that's an option. Then just get your $2,500 because that's all you were going to get anyway.
Right.
Cut me a check and you're gone.
Right.
You're good.
I mean, he's on a fixed income. He don't have $2,500.
Right. Yeah. So there's variables that may play, but it's all circumstantial, right?
Right.
Yeah. If you were in a deal and it was only you were direct to seller and your profit was going to be 2,500, 3,000 or whatever, and you just didn't want the headache, then 2,500 makes sense.
Right.
But if I'm making 10,000, you're not giving me 2,500. No. If I'm making 20,000, you ain't giving me 2,500 for my deal.
Yeah.
I got a deal. We got a contract. I'm gonna try to appease you to some level to try to make you feel a little bit better about this and keep you out of court. But I am willing to go to court, and I'm gonna say it as nicely as I can. But you need to know court is an option for me, and you don't have a chance to win because I got all the agreement.
Right, and it's not just signed. I paid the $50 to have the mobile notary come out and notarize it.
Boom. Sorry, homie. That's what markets do.
I go ahead on and pay the money to get it notarized because I don't want no flim flam. Even when I go to my other seller, I want him to see that it's notarized. I want him to see that it's a real contract because when you sell to your buyer, that is once you come to some type of agreement, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, "I would like for you to email me a copy of the contract." That is what they asked all the time, especially if they're real true buyers. They ask for it. That's the first thing they ask. After you come to an agreement, the first thing out of their mouth is, "Can you email me?"
Yeah, send me over the contract.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's just how it works, and you have to hold people to account. Just because the market shifted, well, the market was going to shift anyway.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be comfortable with the agreement when the agreement was made. Now, all of a sudden you see that, we all have buyer's remorse, right? How many of you have bought a car and then realized that you could have got it cheaper? Or that your neighbor got his for less? I mean, we all go through that, we all deal with that. But, you're not taking money out of my pocket just because you had a little, change of heart. That ain't happening. Yeah. So, like you said, Vernon, I think definitely at this point, if he sounds like he's, committed to this position, I would definitely look towards, I would definitely go and record it and cloud the title.
Right. That's what I'm going to do. And now, you can't go down there. You have to,
it's a virtual process.
I call them if they need original agreement or they just need the copy. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Yeah. You'll figure out the process along the way, but you know where you had to go with it.
Yeah.
At this point now, you got to protect yourself.
Right.
And guys, this is business. Sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it goes a little sour, and sometimes you don't part as friends.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy. I mean, he opened this back screen door, and he's in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
He opened the back screen door, and the first thing I said to myself, I was like, how tall are you? Because it looked like his arms was like as long as, as tall as me. And he actually was 6'7".
Wow. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not no fat guy, nothing either. He's actually 6'7".
Right. Yeah, just big guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, try to see if you can get him to see the logic in not going to court, or if he could come up with enough to buy you out of your position where you're comfortable with the price that he's willing to pay to buy you out of your position. Mm-hmm. But then your argument is always going to be, so now you're going to pay me for this, and now you have to get this to be able to be right back to ground zero where we were to begin with. Because the bottom line is really, how much are you putting in your pocket?
Right.
Once you pay me, you're going to be putting the same thing in your pocket.
Right.
So I don't know how that makes sense. Let's just go ahead and finish off our deal.
Right. I mean,
stay out of court.
The house next door to him, I didn't think it was a deal, but when I went to see it, the house next door to him had a for sale sign on it. So I called the place and I called the people and asked them, how much was the property? And they said, oh no, it's sold back in November. And they said it sold for 65. And that's before I went inside the door, to talk to him. So I got under the contract for 49.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so trying to get me a little spread in there,
Okay, so not exactly. So it's definitely more than 2,500.
Right.
Right. So you have to do. Unfortunately, like I said, you may not part as friends, but you got to do what you got to do unless he's willing to buy you out of that at a price point that you feel comfortable with.
Right.
Otherwise, he's stuck, because as soon as you record it, it's now clouded, and you got to get your money anyway.
Right. That's what I will be doing tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get out.
Thanks for bringing that.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you guys got any more questions? I said start at 10 o'clock. We were going to go for an hour. So much for that working out, right? It's all good. It's all good. We learn from each other. We get value. So, I appreciate you guys showing up every week for this. Definitely means a lot to me. I definitely get a great deal out of dealing with it. And, Vernon, thanks for your input. You're very welcome, Rosalind. You guys, thanks for participating and everything. Philip, thanks for bringing it. Let me just say
no, thank you, Victor. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Some people logged up with Edward, Philip Montoya, Vernon Shields, Chorton, Jeff E, Carl, Moises Blandon. Moises, I apologize, my friend, that I didn't get to you on a role play, but I promise you next week for sure you're on. Okay.
That's okay, Vernon.
All right.
Thank you.
Man. Yeah, for sure. Let's see who else we got. Anthony, Aaron, Carl, David R, Errol Pena, Jaime Cuevas, Jose Ayala, Luke Quinol, Marvin Elmore, Melissa Cruz, let's see, Wei Lin Chan, Yiming Yang, and Errol. Thank you all for participating and bringing value and, helping us all grow, you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys here again next week. Remember, we start at 10 o'clock Pacific, which is 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central. All right.
Thank you.
And let's go
enjoy the rest of your week, everyone.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed it.
Cool. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.